Right, so I have us right at the 30-minute mark. So I think for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you all for joining us for this session. This is openNCCC, the OER platform for the NCCS, and our presenter is Elizabeth Simpson. My name is Jesse Ackman, and I will be moderating this session. And I'm joined by Cindy Gruel. And is Cindy here? Yes, Cindy's here. So I'll be monitoring the chat for questions, and Cindy will be available to help if you have any technical questions. We ask that everyone in the session adhere to the OESS Code of Conduct, and I just put a link in the chat for everyone. But I want to emphasize a few things before we begin. The Open Education Southern Symposium strives to offer an open, inclusive, and friendly environment for all participants. All attendees are expected to help maintain a professional and welcoming environment free of any type of harassment. Together, we can create a space where individuals feel free to express themselves, work together, and come up with solutions to today's unique challenges. The organizers of OESS appreciate your help in making the symposium a friendly and welcoming virtual experience. Please note that all our sessions are being recorded. And with that, I will hand things over to Elizabeth. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jesse. Looks like we're going to have an intimate group today. So the good news is we can address your questions as they come up. So thank you for coming. My name is Liz Simpson. I am the Distance Technology and Accessibility Specialist with the North Carolina Community College System. And for the purposes of this presentation, I'm the primary administrator of openNCCC, which is our OER platform. So I manage the training, the documentation, the ticketing, registration, our integrations. I manage the collections, all that sort of stuff. So there we go. So a little bit of background. So I work for the system office. This is a system-wide resource for our faculty and staff primarily. They give it to their students, but we primarily interface with the faculty and staff. It's a system resource, and the mission of the system writ large is to open the door to high-quality, accessible educational opportunities that minimize barriers to post-secondary education, maximize student success, develop a global, multicultural, and competent workforce, and improve the lives and well-being of the citizens. So we have 58 colleges and a little bit more than 35,000 full-time and part-time faculty and staff employed, and that's according to the NC Policy Watch as of April this year. So we launched openNCCC in December of 2020. It was built on the foundation of an older learning object repository. It was called the NC Lore, and that began in 2007. So the NC Lore was decommissioned, and in 2020, we migrated the relevant and timely and functional content onto openNCCC. So a little bit of background. It was built and designed by ISKME, the Institute for the Study of Knowledge Management in Education. They built OER Commons, kind of one of the big flagship platforms. And openNCCC now serves as our system OER collaboration platform. So our aim, and this comes right from our government's documents, is to offer a comprehensive infrastructure that provides high quality OER content and the opportunity for collaboration around the adaptation, evaluation, and instructional needs of faculty and learners. So big takeaway is that my unit's goal is to provide the infrastructure. We sit in IT. We don't create the content or have a big hand in that content creation process beyond providing access. For the time being, we are also managing the content, but we are hoping to pass that off to some discipline-specific steering committees so they can kind of take it and run and just make it great. So for those who want to explore, let's see if I can, all right, I will put the link in the chat in just a second. There we go. So our mission statement, We're a library of OER that promotes collaboration, exploration, with the goal of enriching teaching and learning. And so we have videos, websites, ebooks, webinars, articles. Personally, I am a big fan of our textbook collection. That on Friday, actually, I just finished adding about 200 more from the Pressbooks collection. So big fan there, trying to get some more usage there, but all sorts of materials, And again, just to get everybody on the same page, we are using the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation's definition of OER. All right, so we have a variety of goals for the future, all of which we are currently pursuing. So at the most foundational, we're working on expanding our collections to allow for easy access to databases and allow for integration of materials directly into our learning management systems. So we have a mix of public and private collections. So a public collection is like a standard OER collection. Anybody can access it, use it, see it without needing to log in. Sometimes you can download it. It depends on the permissions of the individual content item. We do have some licensed collections as well that we have added. We're also gently encouraging use of the platform. So as part of that, I host training through our centralized training platform on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10. Again, this is for facing our faculty and staff primarily. So we can meet people where they are to make sure they get access and feel comfortable with what they need. And we have brochures and written documentation, and I made some tutorial videos for people who need stuff asynchronously. A big win for us is we currently have an LTI connection for Moodle, Canvas, and Blackboard operational. We also support a couple D2L schools and a Sakai school. We're working on the LTI for them, but we got most of our schools handled with Moodle, Canvas, and Blackboard. And if anybody is a little bit less familiar with that, the LTI connection allows instructors to pull content directly into their online classroom. It makes it much simpler for the students. They're not bouncing around, jumping on links. So we're kind of trying to let this happen organically so we can grow at a sustainable speed and address bugs as they come up. We have governance materials, which were approved by legal almost a year ago. And if you're curious, it is all published at the homepage, on the bottom of the homepage of openNCCC in with our policies. So we have our mission and vision, our licensing, quality assurance, acceptable use, submission guidelines, and the outlines for our steering committees. And that's kind of our next big project. Another point of interest is, so in fall of 2021, so last year, I began hosting a community of practice for interested faculty and staff. So we meet monthly during the semester. We took a break this summer as much of our audience are faculty on 10-month contracts. So we built a group for them in openNCCC. And if you're interested, I can give everyone a tour. So it is a private collaborative space with a private discussion board, a content curation and development area, and a few other nice tools. The group feature came with our platform from ISKME. We've kind of tried to intentionally move them to the next level because they're very useful. I also support an OER listserv, but we're actually getting more traction in the group, which is very nice. Very nice. And the goals of our community practice is to promote new and existing OER, promote OER across the system, and foster collaboration regarding OER across the system. Something big in my world is this fall, we are going to have a workshop series. So the plan is to have probably about 50 participants for 4 weeks. We're going to start at the end of October, and we're going to meet synchronously for about 90 minutes and then have asynchronous time to work on things. So we're going to start with introduction to OER practices and tools, and we're going to go into collaboration and curation, design and peer review, and then peer review and planning next steps. So this will be a launch for us. We're going to be starting the first time this fall, but the plan is to run this annually and perhaps twice a semester. We'll see how much bandwidth this takes up. All right, so I'm going to pull down the deck so we can take a look at the platform. Come on, buddy. There we go. All right. So let me get you guys back over here. Perfect. I will put the link in the chat. So before I get going, is there anything in particular? Oh, I just sent it to Jesse. Bear with me, guys. Here we go. Is there anything you would like to see or have questions about? If not, I will start showing you how this guy works. All right, if anything comes up, just let me know. So this is our main landing page. Something that we are going to be, something we learned over the last year and a half is that, so the average user lands on our page and they're given a search bar. And if you know what OER is, you kind of have a feel for what you need to do next. But what we have discovered is that people who are less familiar with how these sorts of platforms work need a little bit more guidance. So what we're going to be doing is rebuilding this. So we'll have some content about like foundational information about OER, how to align it with curricula, how to search, and the tutorial videos right on the top. So we have them at the bottom right now, but the hope is if we bring them up to the top, it will be more useful. And you want to make this landing page more useful. So in terms of access, our faculty and staff can log in. And so they use their school net ID and password, the same one they use for their LMSs, for all that sort of thing. And they get access in here. So we have about 1,000 registered users. Many more people are not registered because they don't need to be. You can use most of the platform without needing to log in. So in terms of how things look, so what is everyone's familiarity with OER Commons? Now, this can help me evaluate how into the weeds we need to get. All right, no worries. So pretty familiar. All right, so Jessica's a pro. It looks, if you know OER Commons, it feels very similar. So let's just let's do this. Let's pull up those textbooks and make sure they're still working. So I'm an instructor. I'm looking for good all the time. Perfect. I'm a fan. You know, I was a little hesitant at first, but they sold me. So here we go. Perfect. So everything is labeled with their license right front and center. And I am a big fan of the little information bubble. So even if you don't have formal training in how these work, you're given a plain language summary of what you need to do. I'm a big fan. So this one is a CC BY, non-commercial share alike. This one is unrestricted. It tells you what you need to do. So this particular book is part of a group of books built on Pressbooks. And so these are typically downloadable. You can also typically read them online. It kind of depends on what the authors wanted to do. And this one we can download as a PDF. Very nice, very nice. So nice features that we have added. Oh, I went too far. Bear with me, guys. Here we go. So we have a course alignments tool. What this does is it links content items with specific courses in our system combined course library. So I'm not going to really do it because I'm not a subject matter expert in writing. But what we can do is just search. And then, so we have a lot of use for this. So we currently have over 6,000 items that are currently aligned with courses. So the first one that came up, I'm betting this is a history course of some kind. Yep. So this is aligned with American History 2 and American History 1. Pretty logical. And so what this does is it allows users to see what other users have said is particularly relevant for that course. There's a lot of traction in the healthcare subjects. We've got a bunch of power users who are just aligning stuff all over the place. After that, we have a decent amount of power users in the arts and humanities. Everybody else is kind of trailing a little bit from there. But that is a very nice time saver for us. Very, very nice feature, very nice feature. And you can just search right from there. So again, we have an LTI set up with Blackboard, Moodle, and Canvas. And that allows, so let's say I am a writing instructor and I like this textbook. I can save it into a folder and then pull that directly into my classroom. So the students don't ever go here, all right? They don't go to openNCCC. They stay inside their LMS that can take them exactly where they need to go. So they are not wandering about the internet, you know. Other things that tend to work well. So we have integrated a machine learning platform to help users find similar information. So it scrapes the databases, it kind of prioritizes the titles, and then the tags and keywords, and then the description, and then pulls up things that it thinks are similar. And then you can open it up and read some summaries and decide if you want to see it. But it's saying, all right, well, this is a writing textbook. Here are some other writing materials that may be useful and other users have found useful. In terms of collaboration, I'll give you a quick tour of the groups and how they work. So again, this is built off of the OER Commons engine. So this is a good one. So this is probably our biggest group that I manage. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I like it a lot. And so we have 163 people right now. So this is a private group. What that means is you have to have a ID and password in order to access it, and you have to request access. What that does is it has greatly reduced our spam, and it has helped us make sure that the people who are in are real people who are really contributing. So we have a discussion. So a lot of me. So I'm usually advertising new materials to this audience of recordings, decks, you know, things like that. But it's a discussion board, just like in any of the LMSs. So let's see, this one had a couple questions on here. So Kate asked this question, Kathy answered her, and they had some chit chat back and forth. So just a few questions, but it's had 46 hits. So people are coming back to this one to see what's going on. Something else that's nice is you can make collaborative resources built within the group that you can collaborate in here and then share it to the main database if you wish. Internally, we are using this a lot to share slide decks, meeting recordings, things like that, that are of use to our population. Let's see. So in terms of the databases, we've got quite a few. Some of them are licensed, some of them are not. So like Georgia Virtual Learning, very nice, primarily interactive course modules. Lots of different things in here. And so in terms of support, it is mostly me. So we have built a help center with written and video documentation. It has a search engine. And if you are just on the site, come on, buddy, there it is. There's this little support button, and that goes to a ticketing system that I manage when I can get back to anybody who needs assistance. We talked about LTI. All right, so we have a couple minutes left. Is there anything you would like to see or see again or get some unvarnished truth about? Well, thank you, Cindy. I'm glad you like it. All right. Well, I will hang out for a little bit. But I know I am standing between everybody and lunch, so I don't want to hold you back for no reason. So feel free, let me put my email in the chat if you want to have any questions, meet about anything. All right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with everyone. It has been great, and I look forward to seeing everyone in other sessions later.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
My pleasure. Take care.